Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is proof the media is rigged against Kawhi Leonard this season. So that's the topic I'm going to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, our Dreamerspro community is finally launching. You guys have seen it in the community section. If you guys haven't seen it, if you guys are not receiving notifications for it, please go check it out in the community section, because it's through that platform we're going to be doing a lot of the live post-game reactions to the platform, and a lot of the other things where you get to vote for video topics and all of that. We're going to release a video explaining everything tomorrow, but as you know, we do a tremendous amount of work just to keep this channel up and running, producing 2 to 3 videos a day. So we needed to do something a little bit premium to go that extra level, because to be quite honest with you, it's a lot of work to do what we do. So that's just for people that want a premium experience. So that's there for those people that want that. But anyway, let me get into the topic here. So funny enough, I started off today pretty cool, drinking my coffee. I have my coffee next to me, just kind of like going through the motions. Marco texts me like, "Hey man, what kind of topics do you have in mind?" I'm like, I'm still thinking. It was pretty cool, pretty chill, shala. And then it started to happen like a slow burn. Came up with the first topic, and then I just started getting heated. So I did 3. We're releasing 3 videos today. So you want to stick around the channel to make sure you catch all of these videos, because they're all kind of annex to one another. So let me get into this first video here talking about Kawhi Leonard. So we all know that Kawhi Leonard was crucified after blowing that 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. We all know this. He was crucified, right? Especially by people like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe. Now, Shannon Sharpe has his reasons, because I don't know if Shannon Sharpe, first of all, I think Shannon Sharpe should not be allowed to receive gifts from people that he supports on TV, because this means your commentary is skewed, is biased, right? And it means you're not really telling people exactly the truth. You're telling people what the person that is kind of influencing you wants you to say, right? By receiving gifts and all. We don't receive gifts from the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard doesn't mess. I don't know Kawhi Leonard. I don't know any of these people. I don't know any of them. So our message is never skewed. There are times I've been extremely critical of Kawhi Leonard, and there are times that I've just given him his just due. So these guys, you got to take a lot of what they say with a grain of salt. We don't have relationships with these people, nor do we care to be quite honest. If I ever met Kawhi, hey, I'll say what's up and that's it. I don't need to have your phone number and be texting you. And I don't need that, because then it kind of clouds my judgment, and that's not really what I'm here for. I'm not a fanboy, right? Although I like the guy, I don't need to be running under him like, I'm a groupie or something like that. It's not that deep. Like, we're all adults. I'm a guy. I need my own, I don't need to be chasing you to that extreme. So after he lost that series, everybody wrote him off. To the point where some people were like, this guy shouldn't even be in the NBA. Some people were talking about Kawhi like as if he was some scrub, a 2-time finals MVP who had a bad game 7, not a bad series, a bad game 7. And if some of his co-stars had showed up and helped him throughout that run, he would have done a lot better. Go look at the numbers. Go look at his productivity. Everything went up, and he had a poor game 7. And with guys not playing very well, they just fell apart. Now, could he have done more? Absolutely. But at the same time, you need a team to win these games. But given the fact that he's the best player, we're going to put the majority of the blame at his feet. Although we all know that other players deserve blame as well, like Paul George, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, who was the 6th man of the year, who disappeared, and others. So, and Doc Rivers as well. So it wasn't a good look. And y'all know Kawhi is my favorite player. Now this year, coming into this season, I think he's improved. Number one, his leadership style has improved. You've seen him be more vocal, which is something I beckoned him to do. As a Kobe Bryant fan, Kobe would chew people out, chew media heads out. Like Kobe, I love the fact that Kobe was aggressive, was in your face. You know exactly what he thought. He was willing to let people know. I like that about him. You always knew where Kobe stood. You didn't have to wonder about him. Kobe Bryant, if you look at him, you look at his demeanor, you know exactly where he was. And Kobe, I like that about Kobe Bryant, as well as Michael Jordan to an extent. And that's what I started to see from Kawhi, bringing guys along. He would get in people's faces, get at teammates, and I like that about him, right? I like that a lot about him. So he's been improving. And this season, I think he's having one of the best seasons of his career, probably the best season in his career. If we go and just look at his production this year, He's averaging virtually the same amount of points that he averaged last year. He's averaging 27.1 points per game. He's shooting 51%, so he's shooting 4 percentage points higher this season. So he's actually become more efficient this year as a basketball player, taking less shots. He's shooting a higher 3-point percentage at 39.1, close to 40%. He's shooting 87% from the free throw line, getting you 6.2 rebounds, 4.8 assists, and 1.7 steals and 0.6 blocks. So Kawhi Leonard is having a great individual season, but most importantly, these numbers are contributing to winning, which is something I'm going to get to a little bit later. His team is Kawhi Leonard's team is winning, and he's leading from the front. He's not leading from the back like he normally would. He's leading from the front. This season as well, Kawhi Leonard has done something he hasn't done in 3 years. He's playing back-to-backs. Kawhi Leonard is playing every single available game in front of him. That is what he has been doing, and I think probably this is his best year he's having for his entire career. Now listen, Kawhi has been overlooked by a lot of the media all season long. I brought this up. Haters, because that's what I'm gonna call you. Haters have said, "No, man, why you always talking about Kawhi? Why are you hyping him up so much?" Because they're haters, right? A hater wants you to talk about things that they want you to talk about. The minute you talk about something you want to talk, you a hater, right? Most of these guys are like LeBron and Laker fans. They don't get enough from ESPN. They don't get enough from Fox Sports and other media outlets. Everywhere on the internet you search, it must be what you want to hear. The world doesn't work like that. And I always said, listen, these guys have been trying to take away the MVP from Kawhi Leonard. One of the excuses the haters, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Nick Wrights, and just the general public that hate on Kawhi Leonard, one of their biggest excuses has been he doesn't play enough games. He hasn't played enough games. So that's the reason why he shouldn't be ranked higher. These are haters, right? These are what the haters say. He shouldn't be ranked high enough. And then yesterday, on First Things First, Antoine Walker, a person, not a media pundit, not some crony, a human being that thinks for himself, that has his own brain, that's not manipulated by what people on TV say, came out and said, he called out Nick Wright's list. He had Kawhi Leonard ranked number 5. He said, Nick, your list is bogus. He said, your list is bogus, and Kawhi Leonard should be number 3 on that list. Because I think he wanted to go with the popular consensus, saying that, listen, Joel Embiid should be number 1, LeBron should be number 2. Then he said Kawhi should be number 3. I think he had like Chris Paul number. That's Nick Wright. Only Nick Wright can make a list of MVP and put Chris Paul. Only Nick Wright can come up with a list like that, right? And then you have people that run around following this dude. I don't understand it. I truly don't understand it. But let me go a little bit deeper here and to show you guys why the media has just been full of SH. You know what I want to say. And a lot of the people that try to take away from Kawhi Leonard. One of the main reasons, or the only reason that they take the MVP consideration for Kawhi Leonard is what we all know it. He doesn't play enough games, right? That's been the thing. That's been the knock on him. Kawhi has not played enough games, so therefore he can't be ranked as in the top 3 or top 2. That's been the knock, right? Let me expose the blatant hypocrisy by people that say that in the media. This is why. Thank God I'm not stupid and I can think for myself. Kawhi Leonard has missed 7 games this season. We're all aware of this. He's played 26 games. 2 of those games those games were because of the NBA made him sit. Y'all remember the COVID protocol before they started that 6-game run? Was that Kawhi Leonard that chose to miss those games? No, the NBA sat him. The NBA sat him for those 2 games. So in all actuality, Kawhi Leonard hasn't been available for 5 games. The first reason he missed was because of the elbow that he got to the mouth, where he had a cut in his mouth, so he had to miss 2 games to get the stitches, make that apparatus for his face. Those were the first 2 games. The last 2 games were because of the 3 games were because of a groin pull. Those are 5 games due to injuries. Fine, he's missed 5 games. Those 2, the NBA took away those 2 games. Now, let me expose the hypocrisy of the NBA of these guys to you, and show you why these guys are just full of it. All of them, the majority of them. The only people that are not full of it are people that don't work on these major networks. And that's the reason why I would never work for a major network. These guys are like, well, you just hating on Stephen A. Smith because you want to work on ESPN. You high? Are you high? First of all, I'm an entrepreneur. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. Our goal is not to work for people. We build our own businesses. You can look at my family. We have entrepreneurs all over the place. Like, I can't even tell you the amount of people that own businesses in my family. So quit it. You don't know what you're talking about, right? I do what I do because I enjoy it. Why in the hell would I do all of this work just to then go apply to work at ESPN? For what? Why would I do that? No, I'm not trying to work for ESPN and anybody else. We're independent. We do our own thing. Number one. The only reason I would go to ESPN if I wasn't doing this would probably be to learn. After a year or two, I would leave. I already have the skills. I'm not here to stay. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go do my own thing. Like Ben Sim. What's the guy who did the Ringer? You know his name, right? The guy's worth over $100 million. He would not be worth $100 million working for ESPN. He went there, he left, he did his own thing. You know his company, The Ringer, great company. So those guys that say that don't know what they're talking about. So yes, let me get back to my point. So they said Kawhi Leonard's missed these 5 games. And in their normal, if you ask any NBA analyst, they'll tell you the top MVP voters should be, consideration should be LeBron and who? And Joel Embiid. Some people said Joel Embiid. Guys, let me expose the hypocrisy to you. Kawhi Leonard's played 26 games, right? Joel Embiid has missed 7 games as well. Why is Joel Embiid number 1? Joel Embiid has missed the exact same amount of games that Kawhi Leonard has missed. Do y'all know that? Of course, most people wouldn't know that. Joel Embiid has played 26 games. Kawhi Leonard's played 26 games. 2 of those games because of the NBA took him away. Number 1. So it has nothing to do with him missing games. They've missed the exact amount of games. Joel Embiid is having a career year. So's Kawhi. But Kawhi's team is actually a better team and they have more wins. If I look at the NBA standings right now, right, because we're going to talk about impact and winning, the Clippers have a 23-10 record. The Philadelphia 76ers have a 21-11 record. So help me understand how Joel Embiid is ranked ahead of Kawhi Leonard. Okay, let's talk about the Lakers because they have LeBron ranked ahead of Kawhi Leonard. Right? How is it that LeBron is ranked higher than Kawhi Leonard when the Clippers have a better record than LeBron James? But Kawhi Leonard, his co-star, has missed up until this point because it's just now that AD got injured, had missed a third of the season in Paul George due to injuries and those 2 games that you take him out for the COVID tracing. So how is it possible that of the leading candidates, Kawhi Leonard's team has the best, has the best better record and is having just as good an individual season as all of those guys, efficiency and all of them. So how is it possible that he's at least not number 3? So I'm going to say it here because no one else is going to say Kawhi Leonard should be leading the MVP race. There's nobody I would put ahead of at this present moment, and I don't care who it offends. At this present moment, Kawhi Leonard should be leading the MVP race, and there's no other player that should be ahead of him. Before I was being nice. Now there's no one. Shouldn't be Joel Embiid. Shouldn't be LeBron James. Should be Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi Leonard should be leading the MVP race, and you can find a way to fit all those other guys after him because he has a better record than all of those guys. He's also missed stars. He's missed the exact amount of games, so we're not going to use the game excuse. What people love to use, we're not going to use that because if you're not going to use it for Joel Embiid, if you're not going to use it for Joel Embiid, you're not going to use it for Kawhi Leonard. So we eliminate that. So what else is left? Numbers. They're both having great numbers. So what else is left? Winning. And he has the better record of all 3 of them. So why is he not number 1? So for me, I think Kawhi Leonard should be leading the MVP race, not none of these other guys. It should be him. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think Kawhi Leonard should be leading the MVP vote? If you disagree, tell me why with common sense. Give me a clear explanation as to why he should not be considered number 1 above these guys, considering all the facts that I've given you. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.